Okay, Revelo, it actually means to unveil, to simplify, to make simple or demystify something that appears to be a mystery. Okay, Revelo, 2 years ago, God's servant, Reverend Kayode Oyeguke, who is the president of the Eternal Glorious Fountain Ministry, is interestingly also the executive producer of Revelo, had this burden because first, the message which has been committed to him is for the body of Christ. So he wanted a platform. Of course, the ministry has regular meetings, teaching and preaching meetings on different platforms, but he wanted something more that would have a form of relaxed expression that would be a bit more engaging in a form of a talk show where the hosts of the show would have the opportunity to ask specific questions to the guest, because the program brings different kind of guests, primarily ministers of the gospel. So Revelo actively played that role, that where we have monthly episodes, and that gives the opportunity for the host to ask very key questions. They try to engage the guest in such a way that the guests are able to throw more light with scriptural evidences of some of the things that the ministry teaches for the body of Christ. Like I said, Revelo is actually designed for the body of Christ. Revelo is not another meeting because the ministry, like I said, has quite a number of meetings weekly. So Revelo is not a meeting. It's not a social talk show. It's not a talk show, but it has the format of a talk show. It's very spiritual because the content is spiritual. Anything that God has given to the church is spiritual. It's not natural, it's spiritual. So Revelo is designed to reach out to the body. So Revelo has the format of a talk show, is a bit relaxed. Okay, what is something is peculiar about the Revelo? The host have in mind every time they sit, in the show, to sit in the place of followers who don't know so much, or perhaps are having the first contact with the ministry or the message. So the hosts are trained to ask questions, make in a very simple, basic way, perhaps representing the mind of the people, so that the guests are given the opportunity to explain and expose, bring to simple terms the burdens or the wisdom or the doctrine that God has given to the ministry, and it helps the body to assimilate, accept, understand, and eventually embrace the message. Okay, like I said earlier, the vision behind Revelo, it's a platform that is designed for the body. I can also call it a tool for the ministry to reach the body in such a unique way that simplifies, breaks down, unveil, make easy to receive the message which God has committed to the ministry for the body. For every entity, you want to sit back, take a retreat, and see how you have performed, over the time. So we discovered that it will be very, very needed to come up with variants for Revelo that would help us have a comprehensive approach to reach the body. For instance, we actually came up with three additional variants apart from the main Revelo, which in this context we decide to call Revelo Classic. So Revelo Classic is the first, and we can also call the flagship Revelo that we started with since 2001. 2021, sorry. So now we have 3 more variants. We have now have Revelo Lifestyle. We have Revelo Q&A, and then we have Revelo On the Go. Revelo On the Go. Okay, so I'll throw lights on each of them. So the Revelo Classic, like I explained earlier, is the flagship, which is basically in the format of a talk show. It's a discussion where the host engage the guests who are primarily ministers, even though we are not absolutely limited to ministers, but primarily ministers, ask questions based on present emphasis, present truth, that the ministry teaches per time. All right, so that's what the Revelo Classic does. And then the ministers with scriptural evidences are able to break down, explain some seemingly difficult thoughts to understand, break them to simple terms with scriptural evidences, and they're able to push these thoughts out, and hopefully our followers, our audience are able to understand that which the ministry God has committed to us. So that's what Revelo Classic stands for or does. Then we have the Revelo Lifestyle. Let me put it this way. People listen to the message. The message is for people, primarily Christians. So Revelo Lifestyle captures the moment of such people, brethren, Christians who had followed the word of righteousness, they followed the teachings of the ministry, and they have been blessed, and they have testimonies. These people, we see them as witnesses who can say they have an experience with the message. So Revelo Lifestyle captures the moment of those people. As a matter of fact, Revelo Lifestyle goes to their homes, and then we interview them in their natural background, in their natural environment, and then they will get to or hear how they've been transformed, impacted by the message. Then we have the Revelo Q&A, like the name goes, it's the question and answer. So the question and answer is another variant of Revelo that would primarily, because from what we do is that for every episode of Revelo, we capture or we try to take questions from our followers, our audience. We want to hear, because the truth is that we know they will have questions. Some of them may have some things they need to clarify as we teach. So we gather their questions over a period of time, and during the Q&A, those questions are brought to the fore, and then the host is able to engage a guest who would seek to answer those questions. The last but not the least, Revelo On the Go. Revelo On the Go is mobile. It goes to individual and asks questions, just in the street. How did this meeting impact you? What did you learn? A particular minister said this and that. What was your perception of what he said? What did you understand? How has it affected you? What decisions have you made after those things you understood? How is it going to affect your Christian life? Questions like that. It's mobile, it's apt, it's on the go, it's dynamic. So that's what Revelo On the Go stands for. Okay, so in summary, the 4 variants of Revelo have been designed by the grace of God for the body. We are hopeful, we are prayerful that these variants will reach people at their various point of need. Each one has a unique design, and those unique design is meant to reach individuals irrespective of their age, their sex, in whatever status they are. A particular Revelo variant would meet them at their point of need. So we trust God that these variants will be a blessing to the body, and we're very hopeful.